It's 5:30.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
You ready? Okay. You weren't recording till just now, were you?
No.
Okay.
No, she's really good. She's all over it.
Okay.
Or he or she or whatever you go by and then ask her what
All right.
you go there.
Here we go.
Go there.
Any public comments?
Get
Eric, you got anything for us tonight? Are you under public, or you're actually an officer now? So
Who? Oh, no, he's he's a Wyndham. He's a commissioner.
he's a commissioner.
Wyndham
Oh boy.
Regional, no, rep or commissioner. What do they use? Rep. He's all rep.
You've been called worse, haven't
He's
you?
on the
Eric?
commission though, so you're a commissioner.
Eric, have you ever been called worse?
Commissioner.
Have you ever been called worse?
Oh, sure.
Commissioner. I think that's something like
I'll work later this
a
evening.
Jewish. It sounds like a sort of Jewish slur. Commissioner.
Okay.
It's
Well,
like
I
Meshuggah,
guess if
that's
there's no
why. It's
public
like Meshuggah.
comments, you got something?
I mean, we had our first meeting.
Okay, go ahead.
Since,
Oh, yes.
This was my first meeting last Thursday.
Okay.
And it was basically a ice-breaking meeting to get everybody back into the groove of things. And I'm going to be part of the transportation and the finance committees.
Oh, that makes sense.
And Cheryl is part of the community.
She sent us a thing on the
Sent
board.
us a thing.
Did you
Yeah.
see? Did
I'm
you know
gonna
we were
go-
part of this four-town thing? Okay,
Yes.
good, because I looked at it and said,
But I am gonna go to that. I need to put it on my calendar
Yes,
and
the-
in my phone.
The Four-Town Housing Collaborative.
Yes.
Fledbrook on the 24th and 26th.
Yeah, I sent you that info, Julie.
Yes,
okay.
I have it in
You
here.
So
sent it.
were there many
Cheryl
people?
sent it.
Were the other towns well represented?
Oh, yeah,
Quite a
there
few
were
people.
about 38 people.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
All, yeah.
Cheryl
So it was
sent
pretty
it to us.
engaging,
There
and
it
a
is.
little over an hour. And, yeah, so this meeting at Fledbrook will be about this Four-Town Housing Collaborative. Winhall's one of
Yeah,
them.
we have all that info too.
yeah,
Good.
four-town.
Okay.
Where did you get it from?
Me?
I got it from.
We got it from-
I sent it.
You didn't
from-
get
But
it from
I
Cheryl?
know. Yes, I got
Oh.
it from Cheryl, but we thought they were coming here. Cheryl and I were here sometime this summer because they
Oh.
were supposed to be here at 2:45 one day, but it was like 2 days after Marcel died.
Oh.
So I don't know if
Well, this is from
That was-
6 to 8 p.m. on the 24th and
Anyways.
26th at Floodbrook.
Okay.
I'm looking right at it. Sent us the
It's
flyer
on two- And it's on 2 days.
and a nice note. Yeah, 24th and 26th.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good.
So that's a good thing. Oh, speaking of rooms, so we got an email.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's
Don't talk about rooms
let's
yet.
finish
Oh.
with Eric first.
Sure,
and then-
Eric, sorry.
Then we'll,
my bad.
yeah, I know, but yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, like, it's apparently, and Cheryl and I had a brief talk before I came here, because she couldn't make it.
Yeah, I saw an email from her saying she
Yes.
couldn't be here,
I didn't see
so
that.
or
so
text or whatever. I don't know.
What committee did that show? Was
she's on the community development, so this is right up her alley.
Okay, cool.
And she said they'll be presenting the findings and making a recommendation.
Mhm.
And apparently there was a preliminary study with the early findings that have been distributed, so her ask.
It does say
was,
compiled
Did
and
anybody
shared
get
with,
that, and could she get a copy of it?
it says compiled and shared with 4 towns, meaning us.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
I don't remember seeing it, but then
No,
Okay.
Bill would remember it. He's
No, but
got
she
a mind
says-
like a steel
I
trap.
got my computer to
Is it
remember
right from the
stuff.
Wyndham Regional?
Rusted
Commission?
shot.
Maybe it's posted on their website.
On ours or theirs?
Theirs.
Yeah, not
So
sure.
maybe we could get a copy of it before. I mean, I don't think I'll be able to go to that meeting. I think I'm going to be out of town then. But
Oh, here's the one. I'm sorry. Here's the one that says I'm unable to attend tonight's meeting. Right.
I told you, you didn't believe me.
I have to pick my son up in sports. Got it. I didn't. Not. It wasn't a question of belief. I just hadn't. I'm having email glitches lately.
Okay.
And it's really annoying.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, so anyway, we'll try to track down these preliminary findings and look them over, and I know Cheryl and I plan to both go to the meeting.
Well, thank you.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, maybe, she was wondering if we could post this, this flyer that's been sent around. Because it's
Yeah.
open to everybody. Maybe put it up in the post office, or,
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Yes, we need a good. Can we use that big printer? The big printer?
We have a color printer, right? Isn't Beth's colors? Yours isn't color, isn't it?
Mine is color,
Oh,
but
it
it's,
is.
I don't know about, I don't.
It's only
big,
the 8
how
and a half
big.
by 11.
Yeah, that's as big as.
Well, how big do you,
Yes.
Yeah.
how big did you
I mean,
want it?
that would be,
That works if it gets
It's
up.
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I could.
you got it from
Did
Cheryl,
she
right?
send, am I on that?
Yes,
Send it to me?
yes,
Okay, I'll
yeah,
send
yeah.
it on
so
there.
if you
August
could-
30th,
If you could
August
print it out, we'll
30th.
try to get
Okay.
them up so that maybe there'll be more public awareness of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's a hot spot because it's hard for anybody to find housing around here.
I mean, actually, you could pop that up on the website,
Yeah.
on the,
On the old one and the new one.
we only have an old one.
Sounds good, yeah,
Okay.
that's all I've got.
Well, thank you for your effort of going to these meetings. I know you drive more than you do at the meeting because you're driving down there and back. But thank you for your effort in getting involved and.
Well, my pleasure. By the way, it was a Zoom call, so.
Oh, you did, well, okay, whatever.
Oh, you didn't have to drive down and back?
Whatever,
That's good.
but still,
Yeah.
it still takes time.
Yeah, I guess they let you do it that way.
But,
They used
yeah, I
to
would like
be.
to go down there on occasion to engage.
Well,
with
face
people
to
in
face
person.
with people and
You
stuff,
meet
so.
people better than on Zoom.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Well, good. Thanks for becoming involved in it.
Oh, you're welcome, my pleasure.
All right, chief, I guess you seem to be up.
Wait, I have a public comment.
Okay, public comment.
So apparently there was a meeting up here that I guess Trevor sort of knew about but forgot about, but it had to do with the highway department or something. And Deb had to stay here because all of a sudden a whole group of people, she was
There was
leaving.
just one person.
She said it
For
was,
whatever.
it was the whole, I thought it was a whole.
But then you had a meeting you wanted to do at the same time, right?
Don't you give the room out
It was given out to one
to, wait,
person, I mean, there was a class here.
right, the class, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But no, but so when you give the room out to a class or any, when the room is, you kind of have to let Beth know, because she would have made sure somebody was here to lock up and
Well, that is
unlock.
the responsibility of whoever's using the room.
Well, who's using the room?
No, I had the wrong date in my phone.
What?
I had the wrong date in my phone. I was actually in Bells Falls.
Right, no, I heard that. Beth
Yeah.
said that you weren't here, you had missed the date, or you came late or something.
Yeah, we came late. We were here a little after 8.
Right, no, that's not the concern, people being tardy or not.
It's
It's
just
that,
if it's overbooked.
it's that Deb had to stay here because she was the only one with the key.
And
And
she
nobody-
she just
she was
just
late
didn't
for
feel
work.
comfortable because she let them in, and
And then she was late for work.
you know,
So usually I think
it's not usually a problem, but
Well, I mean, unless you-
It's never been circulated, it's just
Yeah, I
whoever's
guess.
using the room has to make plans to get the key or get in somehow, and that's
Yeah,
usually
I mean-
through Scott.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, Scott's a good way to do it, right? Doesn't have to be Beth. I mean, Beth takes on too much stuff.
Scott is in charge of facilities.
Right, Scott is facilities, but so I guess probably best if you let Scott know when somebody says we're using the room.
Well, Scott knew, I mean,
He
it
did?
was gonna
No.
be, Trevor was gonna be here, he was gonna open the door.
Do you have a
but
key?
yeah.
Yeah.
You have
No,
a-
I have a key from
Oh, so
home.
you just had the wrong
I just
date.
had the wrong,
It was a fluky
it was
thing
a
that's
show.
not,
There's
So did
some other
Scott knew but didn't?
I don't know if Scott knew
Oh,
or
we
not.
don't know. And he didn't have to know because you knew when you had a key, but you had the wrong
Right.
date. All right, well, I just know it became like
that
a,
is one, it's happened one time
Right.
ever.
oh, yeah, no, I've been here a long time. I hadn't seen that. But I
Well-
just know that Deb, she missed some work. It was like something happened. She was late.
okay. So we'll just have to be careful.
Not our work, her
You
work.
you made a mistake. We just
Yeah, oh yeah.
just,
Yeah.
I'm
you know,
I
it's
mean,
just
I
one of them
said
things.
that. I'm
You
so
did.
sorry.
It was a couple days after the fair, so you'll probably still tired.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
still
just,
getting over that.
I had the wrong date down. I just,
Okay.
and I'm like, oops.
All right. Well, next time we'll take you out and it'll be 30 lashes. So
Well,
You
double
got
check
the
your,
last-
next time, double check your
Huh?
dates
Go
with
for
Lissa.
go for 20.
Double check your dates with Lissa next time in your phone.
Okay. I guess you're up, Chief.
All right.
You didn't want to get involved in that, so
No, I don't think I
you didn't want to be up there.
I didn't even miss that. You wanted to use the room at the same time? Is that what I just heard?
Well, was there something you wanted to use the room too?
I missed
I don't
that.
think
Oh, okay. I thought you just said.
I thought I heard
It's
that.
not
I thought I
that.
heard that too.
Long hours ago.
You had the wrong day too.
I didn't show up.
What's up, Luce? Did you have something?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
No.
So, I don't know if anybody saw in the Manchester, I think it was all over the place, but in the Manchester Journal, they had the treasurer, state treasurer announced federal funding available for Bennington County search and rescue operations that had occurred in the National Forest since October of 2012.
So they refund money to us? Is that?
So for certain things,
Where you save
it's a
people?
possibility. So I reached out with a letter and some support for reimbursement for our snowmobiles.
I was gonna
which
say
are-
gas and
Are
time.
primarily used in the National Forest, the BAS system in Bennington.
Right.
Now, we
What about Gunther?
we have responded to quite a few with our ATV and that stuff because
Yeah.
we cover quite an area there too, but I guess we need a little help on where to send it to and stuff, and maybe we could put into whether.
Yeah, we mean the fire department? Is that what you-
Yes, I
So there's an
apologize.
email address,
No, just-
I already received a response.
You got a lot of we's you wear.
Yeah, tell me.
A very positive response.
Yeah.
And said it seems to fit perfectly.
Yeah, sounds like it.
They already brought it in front of.
So does
Are you
it,
saying reimburse us for them or just the usage or
No,
something?
reimburse completely
For the
For
machines?
the machines, just because.
Oh, that'd
We
be
purchased
great.
those machines with the intent of.
Well, that's what it's
working
for.
Inside the National Forest on search and rescue missions.
since
No, that's exactly what it's
51% of
for.
Winhall is in
So
national
we did
forest.
get nearly,
Yeah, was it
nearly a
77%?
100% reimbursement for about $29,000 worth of.
I need some help, so we can write a letter from the fire department,
Oh, yeah.
The fire
So when I
department.
sent in that
And I-
initial request and I got their response back and they suggested that I would also have wages, officers' wages that could be reimbursed as well while working.
So you're
While on
talking
the
all the way
job?
back to 12?
While working rescue
That's-
operations.
Well, it takes
on
them
the
a
National
while,
Forest.
takes them a while to like get up
Oh, yeah,
to speed on
that's
it.
what,
So-
and it'll be
Bureaucracy.
32 before we get it.
Bureaucracy, right?
So apparently these funds have always been available
Really?
and just not well known.
Well, this is great, that's,
So they're
that could
reaching
be
out, and I
very
think that's why they're
helpful.
doing the media blitz to make sure
Okay.
people are aware that they're there and the federal funds that.
Maybe
are
I can have Christie reach out to you and maybe you could help her, cause she's,
Yeah, I can show her exactly what I did and give you the email to send it to.
that would be great.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's some equipment. That
Well-
you guys
Well, that would
How
be great
old
too,
are
yeah.
the snowmobiles?
Two, no, 2020, bought them in December of 21, I believe.
Okay.
We've got a
Pretty
2012,
new.
we've got a 2012
that's
snowmobile
pretty
and,
old.
and four-wheeler. It is, I mean,
It is.
but they don't get used that much, but it's still, it's old technology and it's more of a problem as
You know,
time
so
goes
we may
on.
be upwards of, 40,000 when we start talking about equipment and wages.
Oh.
And so I'm gonna start calculating the wages and I can work with Lisa on that. You know, I have all the incidents, I already sent them all the incidents.
Which a lot of them would coincide with ours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
Yeah, they're
you guys normally respond
Yeah,
to the same situations we do.
yep, we use
So-
your equipment, yep.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I think we could definitely
Yeah.
jump on there with that as well.
If you wouldn't mind
So I have
asking
good
her. to-
contact, he's been very responsive back and forth with suggestions and we're right on track to hopefully get some money back for it.
Great.
Couple other things, so we're at the end of life for our tasers. In the next couple of years, they're gonna be phased out. And I've been working with Axon, who is the company that sells the taser for different quotes and upgrades. And
How old are they?
Well, they are, that's a good question, I believe they're 2016 is when we purchased
Okay.
them, but I can get you.
I was just curious how long the,
So we were on an initial program with warranty for 5 years, and then you just own them outright after that. And it's pretty much the same program with the new technology that they have, the new taser that they offer
Does
now.
this knock them down quicker?
No, it is a little bit different system. The system that we use right now, you have 2 cartridges. Each cartridge sends out 2 darts, and those 2 darts connect and create the incapacitation. This one here is actually individual darts. It's called the Taser 10. 10 individual darts available. And because sometimes when you just shoot the 2 darts, you don't get a connection.
If they got a
Especially when you
fluffy
have
coat
baggy
on.
coat, one
Yeah.
misses. So with this one, you just have to have 2 darts that are there and connect. So if you missed, or hit a baggy clothing, whatever, you can have a third or subsequent dart to have the connection. Since then, we've used them, I believe we've had 3 deployments.
the whole time
The whole
you've had
time
them?
we've used them.
What would be an incident when you would,
So it's less than lethal. So
Right.
it gives us more tools prior to going to lethal force, and I think it's a necessary tool to have. So just to give you an example, we had a domestic assault where we made entry into a house, and a gentleman was throwing weights at the officers, and they incapacitated him with the taser, and were able to take him into custody without anybody getting hurt. That was probably our more successful deployment.
Right.
Yeah, but
I mean, I'm pro taser. I'm not like, I'm
yeah,
just
no,
curious.
No, I understand that.
Pro
And,
taser.
I mean, I am. It's not
and it's-
lethal.
I mean,
you know?
three times in. I mean, I think it was 2016. I can get you an exact.
But with the number of man hours that are on, that's
Yeah.
pretty low, but it just,
Right.
yeah, it's a alternative, because you hate to go to the next level.
It's a safer alternative for both the suspects and the officers, for sure. Yeah.
And with all the
And
public
just, and a lot of
outcry.
times, just the threat. You know what I mean? They might not be afraid of an officer going hands-on, but as soon as they see a taser in hand or see it on the uniform, so the deterrence can be a factor as well. So currently, I do have funding available for that. It's something that I put into the budget last year for the current fiscal year. And then the other thing that we're at the end of life for is the body cameras and cruiser cameras starting to fail and not being supported with the body camera system that we have. So I'm also looking for quotes for those as well. But again, that's another item that I put into the budget for this fiscal year, but we'll be making decisions soon.
What is like the life expectancy of those?
So they give you, so the program that I'm looking at right now is also through Axon, the same company as the Taser. They do in-car and body camera systems. And this one is a 5-year guaranteed program with, if they come out with a newer version, they upgrade you immediately to the newer version, and then after that 5-year mark, you can still buy the warranties, but you own the equipment.
Okay.
And you're on your own. And we've had the body camera systems for about the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like 8
It's been
years.
about 8 years or so that we've had them.
Yeah, computers don't last that long, so
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
that's
And this would be a more secure download. Like right now, just to give you an example, the cruiser cam, it burns to the hard drive. We go with a flash drive. We plug it in. It downloads to the flash drive. We then bring it to an external drive in our computer and download it into there.
For every cruiser.
For the cruiser, and then the body cameras are a dock system, similar. You dock it, it goes straight into an external hard drive in the system. But with these new systems, they have cloud-based systems that are all Wi-Fi and cellular enabled, and it's all automatic downloads, and very secure systems, all in the cloud-based subscription system, where you can just email a video to a defense attorney or a state's attorney instead of having, again, cost savings trying to download it onto a 16 gig flash drive and sending it through the mail, and not as secure. So
Everything is
yeah.
come
yeah,
leaps,
it's where
leaps and
everything's heading,
bounds.
and it would be nice to have a system like that. I'm always worried about
Good.
something. But other than that,
So, it's under your department, so I'm gonna ask, how did we make out with Knox Box?
so Knoxbox, they are ready to go live. Did they send you
They
additional?
finally did send some PR stuff.
Okay.
So I don't know what of it you want to use.
Okay, yeah.
So we have a different issue with that, which is that our ordinance apparently was not adopted properly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
How did we
there's a
do that?
very specific, because I'm looking at ordinance adoption now for
Yeah.
the short-term rentalists. And
Okay.
there's and I actually thought we could do something we can't do, not with the knock box, but I'll get to that later. But the adoption, it's very specific. You have to the select board has to adopt it, and then within 14 days, we have to post it in 5 places, including a newspaper of general publication. We talked about it briefly and said, gee, we don't have 5 places. Well, we have to find 5 places.
It does
I mean,
say or a summary, so.
The summary in the
In the news.
in the newspaper, you can put it, you have to put some sort of text or summary of what it is, and then, you know, we would link it to the website so people can
Right, which
see it, which it already is up there, but we just didn't do it right. I don't know if anybody's gonna object or say no to it, you know, it's not a controversial ordinance, but
We can.
we need to do it
So,
properly.
right, so let's figure out what we have to do to it properly. Let's
You have
get
to
it
say
done.
it's available, I mean,
We're
you don't have to put it on the
still-
website,
we're
it says
still
it'll
gonna
just be
move
available.
forward.
I think we can still move
Setting up
forward
the
because,
program.
because
Okay.
the boxes aren't gonna be here yet. We have our equipment in place in the police cruisers, 2 of the fire trucks, and the car that I drive. We have the equipment in place and operating. So I think we should continue with it. I think it's gonna go through. I don't have any doubt because this is rather important for public safety also, because if you call
Oh, yeah, no, it's
and you're
totally,
home.
Oh, yeah,
and-
yeah.
I'm just saying that we need to.
Yeah, we need to do it
It's
officially.
town admin, not
Absolutely.
Lissa at, right, or it's
Right,
both.
it's town admin.
So,
Yeah, I mean, you may already have this, but I opened my link,
We can get everything
all the
signed.
VLCT forms, and there's one specific for what you need to do. Ordinance.
should I call them about the ones I've already paid for, or are you gonna mention to them?
I can take care of that if you'd like.
Okay, since you're on the phone with them, instead of
Yeah.
me getting involved, cause I might
Okay.
raise my voice,
Yeah.
considering they've had my money for a month and a half. Okay, so let's just figure out what we have to do to get it finalized and done.
Oh, yeah, no, we're gonna have to, I think we have to re-adopt it at another meeting, and then because it has to be posted in
Within so many
14
days.
days. And
Okay.
the posting has to say, you know, when select board vote to adopt, copies, the amendment ordinance must be posted in 5 conspicuous places in the municipality. This should include places the municipal ordinance uses for posts to its community announcements. So we have 3 of
So we
them.
have 3.
And
And
we
we
could-
posted it on our website, and we did put it in the newspaper. This exact
Oh, you did?
information was in the newspaper, yes.
So that's all right.
Oh, so what
Where
did
they
we,
can go to see
so
it.
we missed
how
the
they
5,
can-
is that what you're
It's
saying?
just 5, that's the only issue that we have.
Oh,
is
well,
there
then
are
maybe
5
this one's
places versus
okay.
3 places.
Because there aren't really,
Well, you have to
The
make,
only other thing,
places.
we could post it at the transfer station,
yeah, that would be the 5th
okay?
place.
And we could post it out here, so there's 2.
We
But
don't
you
have-
do post out here, right?
Yeah, we already do that, I think.
Listen, when you post here, the Winhall Market, and the post office, is that the 3?
Those are the 3, yep. And then I also put it on the website, send it to people by email.
Well,
and,
that's different.
It is different, but technically it's sending it.
Yeah, but it's not
to-
posting it.
Okay.
You sent it
Well,
to
then
who?
it's
Your
in the
list?
The list,
newspaper
there's
Yeah,
too,
two,
you have
but that's
to
not-
apply, right? So you
Well,
put
the
it in
newspaper doesn't count as a place of,
Oh, it doesn't?
No, the newspaper is a separate requirement. It has to be noticed in the newspaper with the rights, but you did that, with the rights to
Yep.
appeal it and all of that.
that
So
is
we
all,
might,
was all in
we
there.
might be, I mean, I guess we're short theoretically 1
Keep
spot. Maybe it's okay.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Maybe it's okay, yeah.
yeah. I mean,
It's not a controversial ordinance.
It's
so I
not
don't-
it's not like
Not
something
some-
we snuck in. This
No,
is something
no,
we've been
it's not
talking about
something anybody
for
would have a
close to a
problem with
year.
either.
Yeah.
I
So-
mean, we didn't get any feedback on it,
Eric,
right?
do you know what they're
No.
talking about? The Knox box? So it's just a box that if somebody's alarm goes off,
They don't have to
only
break
the
the door
police
down.
or fire department have
Or
an
rescue.
access.
Right.
So they don't have to break the door.
Because we had a call just a few days ago. I got there and the alarm, we got called to this house, said the fire alarm was going off. I got there, nobody there. And I'm walking around the house, I'm looking in the windows, there's nothing showing. And suddenly, ring camera lights up. What are you doing on my deck? And I said, well, ma'am, I'm from the fire department. Well, why are you at my house? And I said, because your fire alarm's going off. And then there's 4 people talking in the background. Finally, I got them on the phone and said, listen, here's what's going on. Your fire alarms went off. Well, is my house okay? And I said, well, I don't know, can't get in it. Because their caretaker was out in the woods on a 4-wheeler, it was Labor Day weekend. So we checked it and he went and checked it later, but so I wasted half an hour at this call, whereas if we could have gotten in, we could have said, oh, there's no smoke, we found a bad detector, get it taken care of, but we couldn't get in the house and I wasn't gonna do any damage to get in.
Right, right.
But the real problem is if someone pushes the alarm and they have a medical emergency, they can't get to the door to get in. So we don't have to break a door down to get to them. We can get into the house within seconds. And it's
That's it.
very secure.
Yeah, so I guess-
So are you
Opt into
fairly
it.
comfortable
I think
now?
we're okay with
I
that.
do
I mean, you know, that shouldn't be a
So
problem.
you can
How
opt
do you
in
feel about
if
it?
you wanted to,
I think
too.
we're okay.
Anyone in town could.
The people who are registered with the police department who have active alarm systems are required to put it in or not have the alarm
And
system.
anybody else can.
And anyone else is it can sign into the system. They don't have to have an automatic alarm system. But it's just so that when we get there, if we get called to their house and there's no one there, we can get into their house very
How we
securely,
reach-
it's documented.
So how are we reaching out to people to know that this is required?
Would they,
So
go
we have,
ahead.
we have a 300, between 300 and 400 person list of our registered alarms with all their contact information.
That you had already had?
Through our alarm, registration.
So they have an
Okay.
alarm, they had an alarm list where they had to register.
Most of the burglar alarms are linked.
Oh, and they
to
all have
fire
email
alarms as
addresses
well.
or something, so you can send
Yeah,
them?
and, I mean, between that and Lissa's list, and you should be able to get it out to most.
And there's a few other requirements of the ordinance
Then as
that
they
you're
pop
gonna
up,
highlight.
maybe we could have a handout on a card.
Something pops
up where they
it
have
costs
an
more money,
automatic
but it actually
Yeah.
applies to anybody, not just if you have an alarm, so you
Well, I
you
just,
could send it to the,
I just do not send it to the whole town right now. Let's do
Okay.
the alarms, cause those are the ones we have more problem with. Cause most people are calling themselves, but we can explain it to them, this is available. Okay, but I just do not do the whole town and then have 1,200 people that we have to deal with boxes, because when the box comes, it will be unlocked.
well, not everybody's gonna do it though.
Not everyone that is not
That
on the
doesn't
alarm
have an
system.
alarm system.
But this box will come to them unlocked. They have to have it mounted to their house within a certain location. And then they get their keys ready, and either the fire department or the police might have to go there to lock it.
Yeah.
They
if
cannot
have the
get
only
into
key.
it or out of
Right.
it. So I think we better start with that and see how that goes.
What'd you say,
And-
it's about 400? What'd you say? 3?
350.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
Okay.
but it just is something that I think will,
And I did find out ours will be e-lock only
really,
available. Just because with the mechanical key makes it much less secure.
okay,
So that we, since we went through the expense of the e-lock
okay.
systems, they suggested that.
How do you know if somebody do you get your information from the homeowner, or you got your information from the alarm companies?
What information?
Who has an alarm?
So when as soon as they purchase a box from Knox
Okay, yeah,
within
no.
the Winhall.
No, he's,
No, I'm saying, how do you know? I build a house, I put an alarm system in it.
Yeah,
How do you know?
I don't until I go there for a false alarm.
Oh, okay.
but
Or you fill out a
that'll have to be
registration
part of the information pack. We'll have to put something in there for when you got somebody that's gonna build a new house, and most of the new houses are gonna have alarm systems in, and we'll have to put a link in there or something in there that says, oh, if you're going to put a fire or medical alarm into your house, you have to register with the Winhall Police
Well, you need the
Department.
lockbox, and you need the lockbox.
And your locks box, we'll have a
We
copy.
already have a registration.
Yeah, and I've already been sending, new homeowners over to
Okay,
get.
Oh, you did?
registered.
Oh, so there you go,
yeah,
that's good.
and I've talked to half a dozen people in the last 5 or 6 alarms we've been to, because
Yeah.
they don't know about it, but, so word's getting out, and we've had people.
Now,
But also, you wouldn't need a zoning permit if I bought a house here in Winhall, and then I decide to, didn't have an alarm system,
You put one.
and I decided to put an alarm system in. So you're saying we won't really know that until there's a false alarm?
Right, or they learn of the registration program
Well, eventually we'll send it to everybody, maybe we'll send it in the next.
Tax bill or something.
Next tax bill, but whatever, I
We'll
just,
see how it flies.
yeah, I just soon do
I
the
think it'd
ones.
be nice if it was gradual anyway.
Yeah, exactly, cause it's gonna be a little bit busy for a while,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna run around there.
but.
Also,
but
who puts the knockbox in the appropriate place, which is a few feet from the door?
The homeowner has it installed,
So they have to call a contractor or something to,
yep, and then, but they won't be able to lock it. And we're gonna tell them they should have a key,
oh, yeah, yeah.
and
I
their
got that.
codes,
I
and
understand
their
that.
contractor's information, and their information, and
Even caretaker,
the
not
caretaker, right,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
so lockbox, so is it like, is Dan, know how to put all those in?
I'm sure.
Anybody,
Anybody.
Herbie
I mean,
knows
he's
that,
a lock-
anyone who was,
Yeah.
But anyways, anyone who is,
Homeowners can do it.
Oh, can they? I mean,
Oh,
is,
yeah,
is
yeah.
it that
I'm
simple?
sure it's a
Yeah.
simple mount.
it's a very robust box. I mean, it weighs,
Right, but I mean, is it just like, once it's open, it's just like 4 screws into
Exactly.
the... Oh, okay, so they can do it
To the
themselves.
wall, like you,
Right,
yeah, hopefully they don't drill into electrical wire.
okay.
Then we'll get a call right away.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, it works.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
great. You guys got any more questions for? Oh, I saw the new sign. Is it working now?
No, it's not
Because-
working yet because it's not working because it wasn't sunny yet.
No.
No.
So when I drove by this morning,
It said
it said Amber Alert
And if-
and
Oh,
gave a
it
plate
did?
number.
Yes.
Is that active?
So, no, so it's
Mine's-
not active.
I went by this morning, it didn't say anything.
So
It was blank.
I still have to get my log into the cloud system to program it.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's just the factory settings.
Okay, because I saw Amber. I've been looking for a silver Focus today.
When the car came, the red and blue flashed as well.
Okay, I didn't see,
And then it would go back to the.
I came back and I had
gave-
nothing.
Gave an
So-
actual description.
Well, I saw it
with the
this
plate
morning.
number.
I said, "Oh, look at that! That's a nice one."
I said, let's turn that off for now.
Oh, it's off for now, that's
We don't
why.
get calls about.
Because I didn't want
Focuses.
Julie coming down
Somebody's
on
running
me.
around with a silver Focus and they're getting pulled over right
Yeah,
now.
you run off the road, yeah. So yeah, we.
That's
yeah,
funny.
so
I saw you guys putting it in this morning or tweaking it or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And then later on I drove by, I'm like, okay, I guess maybe it has to charge.
No
Well, what happened, Bill, is Dusty and Kenny had installed it this morning,
Yeah, that's what I saw.
and then they called and said this thing's doing all kinds of weird stuff. So I reached out to Derek, and Derek and I went down and assessed it, and we decided just to shut it off until he gets to his programming.
Right.
So you'll
So,
get
yeah, I've
that,
already set an appointment.
and you're gonna let Bill know when it's active.
Right, and,
Absolutely.
and like a white Wrangler comes, it's gotta say 120, no matter what speed he's doing.
Yeah.
I was coming up through the other day and I was doing
said 100.
45 and I got up to 119 miles an
Yeah,
hour.
I'm telling you.
I said, "Holy
I've had that,
This
I've had
Jeep
that
won't
happen.
go
You
that
guys
fast."
thought I was crazy. I had that happen.
It does, we did see the red and blue flashing.
Okay,
work.
well, whatever. So you'll get it under control.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You know what really works well is just when one of your officers is sitting in the middle of town.
It works too.
That works really well.
Yeah, try to do that as much as possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I drive by and then they like leave. I'm like, no, 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 you can stay there. I'm not a problem. I think it's great when they're there in town.
No,
That's what, you know,
Yeah.
keeps the heightened awareness.
Yeah. For
Oh,
Get the email with all the PR stuff, or do you
sure. I did, yeah, we
figure out
can,
like what to send?
yeah, yeah. I'll get together on that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be back Friday.
great.
Okay, cool. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Derek, just stick around for a minute.
When's town meeting? First Tuesday in March?
Yeah, this one.
First Tuesday in March is town meeting?
Yes.
Well, since Derek is still here, Stuart's
Uh-oh.
aware of the issue, so I'll bring Julie and Bill up to speed. About 3 weeks ago, I got notified from our diesel and gas delivery guy.
Oh, I heard this.
Okay, so what happened was is they thought.
I have not.
I'm gonna. Well, what happened was, Julie, they
Sorry.
called me and they had tried. They had said to me that they had put heating oil fuel into our on-road diesel fuel.
Oh.
Not the end of the world. It was okay. Jeremiah's cruiser started acting up, and a couple of the others started acting up, and one of the officers had taken a sample out, I believe it was Friday morning, and it was contaminated, the gas was. Well, they didn't put the dyed fuel into the diesel tank, they put the dyed fuel into the gas tank.
Oh,
So, I reached right out to Coda, our supplier, and they were there within a couple hours, they drained it all off, got it all cleared up. They've been very responsive.
And the camera was on.
And we know what happened.
Yeah.
We knew what happened. But Derek has been feeding the cruisers through to the dealership, getting them checked and stuff. And Coda said just send all bills.
I already took care of that.
No, I just given them. So, but they've been very, very responsive for this thing.
Okay.
It was a human error, and they've, and I don't think there's any cruisers really.
No, we're good, yeah.
And that's the only reason I asked you to stay, because
Yeah,
because you know that cruiser's better than.
yeah, they were running rough, and, you know why?
Once you get, and you put enough fuel to them and you get it clean
Correct.
fuel in them, they should be.
Correct.
Yeah. Well,
So, but just to give you guys an up, that's what was going on with the fuel and stuff. So, and I'd already reached out to Stuart that afternoon. and I was just gonna brief the two of you tonight on it, and with Derek being here, it was perfect timing, but everything seems to be going in order. Our two vehicles that run gas, the 150 and the Ram, did not seem to bother, because we don't use as much gas as, per se, the cruisers do, so haven't been as worried about them. But they go through a fair amount of gas because.
And I may have filled up in that time frame, but that vehicle's running okay.
Correct.
The Chief's car, so.
Yeah, so, but it just, I mean, that's the only reason I asked you to stay there.
Yeah, mine wasn't, didn't seem to be affected.
You know, and the one cruiser we think took the direct hit, because we think he's the one that took the bulk of the diesel that was in the tank.
Mhm.
So that was why it was one of the rougher running ones, but we did save that. So that's that in a nutshell.
It happens, so
Thank you, Derek.
I assume they'll be more vigilant about that.
Oh yeah, no, and then after talking with Casey Cota, the owner, he said he's switched the program around a little bit, so he oversees the commercial accounts a little closer now, him personally. And like I said, I can't say enough for their company at this point, their responsiveness to make this right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was almost 500 gallons of gas mixed that they pumped out and took away, and they filled our tank back up with good clean gas. And we cycled like 40 gallons back out of it after they filled it up with fresh gas, made sure it was clear, and everything was good. So it was kind of a crisis averted timing and stuff. So, Bill, back to a conversation you and I had almost a couple months ago, because I haven't
What's
been
that?
around for a while.
What is it?
The directory sign out the entrance of the Hollow Road.
Oh, that's funny. I looked at that today and thought, seems to be holding up.
Well, it's rotten. It is rotten.
Yeah, but it was a part of it that
Askew.
askewed. Yeah, that's
Well, I
correct.
went down and I put a screw in it, but the whole thing.
So now it's
there's
askew
nothing.
instead of askew.
Yeah.
But it looks. It looks like it's okay. I
But
mean,
it's just you're buying time with it. So my question is.
Okay
Which
with that.
sign?
the one that said Marcel put it up. It's a small directory sign. It says like the Red Fox
Oh,
Inn.
yeah, yeah.
It was just partly because Tom and Cindy were putting signs all over town and on their own, and Marcel said, "Let me just do something that's more official."
Okay.
So he put up this sign that says, "What is it?
It says
Transfer Station, Red Fox,
Inn, Appleton
Alton Rose."
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, the one.
Yeah, Woodmore, right down there at the big intersection. So my question is, because we don't have a beautification committee, and I think that's who kind of spearheaded it a little bit more before, is that something you want Scotty, myself? I mean, do you guys just want to wait for that sign to go? Do you want to reach out to?
I would say bring it up to date. Let's, instead of having it fall down or
Right.
having it askew,
Yeah.
and let's make it look good. I mean, we got, what's it gonna cost us, $300-400 to?
That I don't know, so because it's all. I mean, we do have to go all new post. I mean, it's gonna be kind
So-
of like the welcome signs at either end of town.
But do we wanna go with that, or do we wanna put metal signs up?
It comes back to an aesthetic thing at that point, and we can do the metal signs.
Isn't though that one the standard for the state?
No, that's not a state
No.
sign.
No.
No, but I've seen the similar ones.
I
in
see what you're
different-
talking about. Yes.
Yeah,
The black
like-
ones with the white.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I'm fine either way. I mean, we could.
What? The black ones with the white ones are state signs you get from the.
Right.
Yeah,
Where
you
you
see.
pay and it says.
Yeah, your name and then
Oh,
sometimes
you
a
pay
logo.
for the
Oh,
business.
yeah,
yes,
that's
I didn't
not-
know that.
I didn't either.
Oh yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah, and they don't always give them to you either. You have to
Because
be in a place
if
where
there's somebody's
driving faster through. Well, also you have to be. If you're someplace where it's already slow, they won't necessarily give you that sign. It has to be like it needs to be there for a reason, and there has to be less than
would-
3 on the post. 'cause if there's
Would you
3,
mind
it's already
checking
enough.
to see what it would cost to put it back to what it is now, and get a price of what it would cost to make it a metal signs
Okay.
and put it up?
Well, you think metal would last longer? Is that why?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The beautification fund has already overspent itself by $1,500, just letting you know. There's no money in that fund at
Okay.
all.
Okay. But no, because it was a conversation, Bill, you and I had.
Yeah, no,
and
because I saw it was actually leaning and you fixed it, so it's
But
fine.
it's just, it's.
I know it's
been there a
temporary.
long time.
I mean, I know it's temporary, but I looked today and thought, that's actually working.
So we got that one. The winter sand's being delivered. We started delivering that today. The South Road culvert that Hunter's going to be doing, he's thinking the end of the month is what his tentative is, my last conversation.
Is he
with
gonna
him.
get signs up ahead of time? Are we gonna put some warning signs up?
He's required to put it up 2 weeks in advance.
But we can't just have your, we gotta check on some of those electronic signs that we can put up, because your handwritten sign just doesn't cut it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, I
Okay.
mean,
It's gonna be Hunter's signs though, he's in charge of
It's, well,
signage.
Hunter's taking care of the
Not us.
signage, but I know what you're sort of saying is like when we do culverts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it comes back to like the conversation you and I have had, that we could have the trailer size ones and they're still going to,
They won't believe it.
they won't believe it. They'll have to, I mean, unless you're literally gonna take the sign, which we have done in the past, Julie, we've put signs upside down to get people's attention, because they will stop, you laugh. They will stop and explain to you how crazy you are that you realize you put that sign upside down.
Right.
But they read the sign.
But did you read it? Well, yes,
that's-
I did.
So, I mean, it's the age-old question, you know, and it's like that particular culvert out there. It's kind of in the middle of South Road, between the two towns. Where do you post at that point that the road's going to be closed? Do you put it all the way out at Route 11 and out to Winhall Hollow Road? Because then people won't know how far in they can come.
Right.
So if you post it right at the bridge that they're doing, which is typically what we do, it at least gives people that 2-week notice to go through. Then you just decide where you're gonna make it put the road closure up at a convenient spot for people to turn around. They're gonna get it.
I would say that
upset.
you're gonna have to post it at the four corners. Both four corners.
Yeah,
And then you're gonna have to say local traffic only.
yep, and they're still gonna.
And then that doesn't mean, but I always go that way. Well,
Yeah.
you can't for a couple weeks.
Yep.
It's gonna take them a
But I'm
couple weeks to.
local.
Yeah, but I'm local.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I've already reached out to the school system, because they were running the bus out through
Buses.
there, but they're not going out through there anymore. They've switched directions on us. So not using that, they're using Winhall Hollow Road now, so that's that.
Okay.
On South Road, we did get that grant for 200,000.
We got the grant for 200,000 for the South Road project.
Well, that's really nice.
Yay!
Wow.
How
So
much
that's
is-
great help.
How
What
much
did
is
that
the
one
bill?
cost us?
So we thought it was gonna be.
I don't
better
remember what the
than
number
that.
was. It was
Way
around
more.
that. It wasn't much over 200 if it was.
That's what I was thinking.
But whatever.
50, but no, I mean, that was, you
We
know,
put,
We just
you
got that
put
today.
in for a lot of grants, but we
Hoorah.
don't get many of them, so.
We got
I don't know, this has been on the road lately.
Well,
no, she's, I mean, that's what she's, I mean,
Yeah,
she's
no.
my go-to. I mean, I feel bad when I do see her, because we spend up just about 10 minutes just filling her page right full of what wants and
Hey,
wishes
it
and-
works, it works.
Exactly, you know, I mean,
Keeps working, it
that's what
works.
she does. So there's that. The the line striping's been done. Hoorah! Except for.
on which roads?
Oh, really?
Yep.
Really?
The access
Yeah.
road too?
To High Meadow. I warned them that they're gonna have to come back because they're not ready yet. They said, we're in town, we're gonna do what we can. I said, perfect. The only thing that has not been done yet
Is the new
is
stuff.
this center line on the access road in Winhall Hollow Road and Old Town Road. Because that the state pays for. So they'll show up when they do it
On a rainy day.
on a rainy day, but that's all. But the fog lines are complete.
Okay.
The fog lines and the center line, as you see on Upper Taylor, are in place. So. we
Well, that's
finally-
great, because those fog lines are really making,
Yeah.
the center line too, but the fog lines really make a
Okay, so
difference.
we're in relatively good shape on that, and
Correct.
now, while you're here, we're going,
I've got-
keep going.
Okay, yeah. So we had an inspection from the VLCT insurance, what's his title?
Massive, loss
Loss prevention
prevention.
Yeah.
inspector. I don't know if you guys got a copy of it or not.
No,
No? Okay, and I apologize for that.
I don't know that we need
It's
it.
pretty much internal to Scott. and
Yeah,
I.
what does it,
Okay,
yeah,
well, I
it
just
tells you
figured-
what needs fixing,
E-
right?
Exactly. I mean, there's some stuff in there. There's a couple things in there that I have to work on as far as like toolbox talks and stuff like that.
Toolbox what?
Toolbox talks. You know,
Cox?
talks like we're doing.
We're gonna talk about it
Talk.
over the toolbox.
Yes, basically.
Toolbox
Bill,
talks,
Yes,
yeah, basically.
that's
Bill,
a new type of toolbox.
not the talks.
Basically, Bill. When you're using, I'm supposed to sit down 2 or 3 times a year minimum. When you're using the drill press, please make sure you have your gloves, your glasses.
Glasses, right.
Just to
Safety
go-
issues.
just safety stuff.
Yeah.
Just repetitive things.
Right.
But we have a list. Scott
And
and I.
you're supposed to use them too,
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
even though,
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
this is for our liability insurance, the loss prevention, okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
And basically, they're giving you a shot across the bow. I'll call it. They'll come in. They'll give you an inspection. So
It's like an OSHA inspection for a business.
So do they
Right.
need you to
But it's
like,
a-
do you need to have a little like memo, checkbox, I did this on this day?
Yes, as
Yes.
we fix things, we
Yeah,
let them
yeah,
know.
There
you know,
you
and
go.
everything that came through was low priority, so that was a good thing. You know, Scott and I have gone over it. I've sat down with the guys, we've gone over it, and I think we're gonna be okay. I've already corrected a couple small things on there. I've got a couple things I need to buy, which I've never had before, but you gotta have a guard on the drill press. We've had the drill press for 10 years and they've never whacked us on it, but now they have. I found one, we're gonna take care of it. So that's it in a nutshell.
That's a guard so that you can't see what you're doing.
Pretty much. So the shavings don't come off and hit you. So, other than that, all I have left is really the.
It's usually metal shavings, right? You're not
Correct,
talking about, so
correct.
that's, I get
No,
it.
it's a good idea, but
I get it.
I never knew there was such a thing.
Yeah, I didn't,
And we've had the drill press.
it
for
just
10
goes up and down,
We've had the drill press for 10 years, and this is the first year they've ever seen
said
it said
that. All right,
anything.
good.
Well,
But other than that, I don't have much else other than the access road.
I think we might, so while you're here, we might so talk about that.
Yep.
Bring everybody up to speed, because that's the next thing on the agenda. So why don't you wanna bring us up to speed on that?
The base is in up to where the base pavement is up to where Stratton
Up to
started
Quarter Mile
replacing
Road.
their Quarter Mile Road, I believe it is. Started replacing their snowmaking line. I believe they're done working on the road today, finishing their cleanup and stuff like that. Hunter Excavating is, they've done what they do to.
The snowmaking line, they're
Correct.
finished with the cleanup.
In the road. They
Okay.
still gotta do up their stuff and down
But
through the
they're,
woods.
but they're basically out of the road, out of the access road
Correct.
right of way now.
And I was here the other morning when Pat Moyner came in with a check and gave it to Deb. So,
Yeah.
And
And I believe that Tom has been in communication with Hunter and Tom knows that they are pretty well done
Oh,
with their
Fuller.
phase of Tom Fuller.
yes.
And I believe, from what I heard, is maybe the 16th.
The conversation I had with him this morning is gonna be closer to the end of the month.
No, whatever, but.
Yeah, it's gonna
but
be
he-
because of his
he-
timing.
He knows that that they're pretty well
Correct.
done there, and he's trying to get back in the schedule so that he can finish, cause then he has to do his shoulder work there,
Yes.
which then he can be done with that project.
Right.
Because he's finished on the Hollow Road, right?
He has 2 more aprons to do on the Hollow Road
Okay.
for Kingsley.
Okay.
And he has to do all the aprons on Upper Taylor Hill Road and shoulder that, then our stuff will be done. So the paving end of our road is done other than the aprons. And then the shoulder
Other
work
than-
on Upper
other than-
Taylor. And then the access road, what he will do is, towards the end of the month, after things settle out and he gets a break in the schedule again, he will come and he'll finish the base work, then top the whole thing all in one, so there won't be a joint other than at the town line.
Okay.
Well,
The town line's moving, actually.
it is.
But,
Well, because what happened, Julie, is they ended up, because Stratton just rebuilt their part of the access road last year,
Oh,
the town of
okay.
Stratton. Well, the snowmaking line actually went almost 200 feet into the town of Stratton, so they had to tear up town of Stratton's brand new road. Yeah.
oh,
which
So-
they're gonna fix.
So Stratton Corporation's gonna fix it, but what they're gonna do is Tom is gonna do what they call a mill and fill, where he's gonna take off like 2
Oh,
inches.
yeah.
So instead of the town line actually being here, it's actually gonna be there where the speaker is. So they don't have what you'll call a trench joint.
Right,
So one
right.
lane's tore up, it'll actually just start and he'll be able to just seal the whole thing up. It'll
So
look
it
just
always
like
used to be
never-
fairly easy. Oh, here's the town line.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
we know about where the town line
Yep,
is.
yep. So, but other than that, I mean, I think we're okay. I mean, we're starting to gear up towards just running around doing our.
Do you have more culverts to replace?
I've got a couple, 3 more I'd like to try to get done before fall. I'm waiting to hear back from Shaves on that. I don't know if we're gonna get them done. Everything else we're okay. It's just basically to get a jump start on next year's paving projects. If I can get them in this year, we get them in. If we don't, we'll definitely get them in next year.
So, I hate to mention it, but I think we better start planning what we're gonna do on the access road, if we're gonna do anything now, so we can get ahead of, I mean, we could actually put it out to bid.
Once
And-
we get the
and-
hydraulic studies. Because we've gotten our hydraulic studies, because that Stuart and I have talked about the next phase being basically from Route 30 up to
Yeah.
above Stratton Garden Road, basically up closer to Intervale, because we have that property that keeps getting flooded and stuff.
Yep.
We've gotten, so this is the state at its finest. I met with them almost 2 months ago, plus or minus a little bit, with the state to get these hydraulic studies started. And here about 3 weeks ago, I had called just for an update. Well, the guy that did the hydraulic studies doesn't work there anymore. And they neglected to tell us. So I was able to, the next person that took his spot was able to come over. He's got them in the queue now. And I told him it's very crucial, we need those by October for budgeting for next year. I just
Right.
actually met with the wetlands people last week. So they've kind of gone through, pointed out the spots that they think are gonna be problems, so we're ahead of the game a little bit, because we're starting to learn how to get ahead of this a little bit, so we're not playing
Well,
waiting.
I think that we should try to get that under control so we know how much we gotta come up with.
Oh, yeah.
And see if Stratton's gonna be able to come up with theirs.
Yep,
The problem is, this phase of it is gonna be a little bit more complicated,
correct.
because we're gonna have to put traffic lights up, because we can't shut the road off and bypass it.
Right, because you have the water, because we have draining, because we have the engineer study we did a few years ago, the bottom half of it, where the
Right.
water's in the road, so we're gonna have to do all that drainage. Well, we don't have to, but it's advisable
Wow.
to do all that drainage, since you're gonna do all this work. But we have to wait for these hydraulic studies to know whether it's a 6-foot pipe or a 20-foot pipe. Because you're
Okay.
talking a difference of $70,000 to $150,000
Right.
of what your prices are gonna be, so.
You're saying the one that's by Telephone Road?
There's that one there, but then you have some bigger ones down below, by Roberts Road, there's a big one.
That's only,
That's a 5-footer, I believe. There's two of them between Stratton Garden Road and Roberts Road. There's the one just below Steve and Melanie's. That one's down quite a ways, and that's a 5-foot one, but it is concrete. It's starting to show its age. It's starting to chew. And then the next one down is one of the DI that dumps down into Phyllis's field.
When you say
a
it's
smaller one.
starting to chew,
The-
do you mean it's getting
The
eaten
tier,
away?
yes. Yep.
Okay.
You're starting to, the concrete's starting to wear. I mean,
there
water
are
just
some
keeps-
culverts on the access road up from High Meadow up that are concrete that we did not touch, because they're still in good shape.
Right, right.
So if they were in good shape, we we just said, okay, they're good for another 10 or 20 years. But any of them that are galvanized or corrugated metal, they're rotted out. And so we're doing those. So we haven't done every culvert on the access road. There's still some there, but if they have deteriorated, we're trying to do them so that we don't have to tear the road up. And hopefully that'll be the next phase. I don't know if you're gonna be here by then. No? No, I mean, I'm serious. I mean, hopefully it'll be 10 to 12 years before the access road will need to be done again.
anyway, because it's usually a 10-year cycle is a good number to go fly. But just for a quick example, Julie, Old Town Road has not been paved since Irene. And that was just what I call a shim and overlay. Just put a shim down, an inch of top, and the state actually paid for that. And the access road was done in 2012, I believe. The two
I
phases.
remember when we first moved here, when we were driving up the access road in 2005, it had just been done.
That was prior to, yes.
There were parts of it.
There was parts of it at that point. That was
There was a
that was
lower
before
half.
I started here.
There
but
was
I
a
know,
lower half probably.
because Fuller started in 2012, 11 or 12, just after Irene, and did the sections that we're actually doing now. So you typically, a 10-year turnaround on a road is really good, especially for around here, because as you guys have learned from the conversations we've had, our roads are built on a bunch of garbage. I mean,
But we're gaining on them.
we are, but it doesn't change.
Because there were places in that road where we had this much pavement.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just kept getting laid over and laid over and laid over. But the problem is, now I got another rendition from Tom Fuller. He said, you have a hole here and it gets water in it. It's not that hole that creates the problem. It's out here underneath that hole. It's this big that it's soft. So you put a layer over it. Now you've temporarily filled it, but you've got a soft spot here because that water has, and there's still that hole there, so eventually you're gonna have that stuff fall into that hole. So you're gonna have, it's gonna go bad quicker.
It's a good rendition of it is like an iceberg floating in the ocean. You know, it's only this big on the surface, but it swells up tremendously underneath the water.
So we're spending a lot of money on it, and we're going to level we've never done before on it, but I think we're getting a better road out of it because we're getting down to a good subsurface and we're milling that material in and making it better.
And one of the things, Julie, is it's the age-old conversation. If you have a crack, even if you just go over it, that crack's gonna follow, and it'll keep chasing
Right,
up there. So
right.
this full depth reclaim is a really good idea
Yeah.
to do. So
All
other
right.
than that, I mean,
So
I think
maybe we can talk about it the next meeting and see if we can get ready to start.
yeah, as long as we get the hydraulic study, that's gonna be the big hang-up, because there's no sense in even trying to figure that out until we know
Okay.
what they want to do.
Well,
for
keep
those
that in the
pipes.
back of your mind because
Oh, yeah, no,
I'd like to get that out
Yep.
so that then we can find out how much it can cost us
Well, that's-
because
and
we
that's-
don't, it's unknown.
And
at
that's
this
the thing,
point.
4-foot pipe's 75, and 8-foot pipe's 150, so it's
Yeah,
it's waiting on the state.
okay.
So, you guys got anything else?
Nope.
So far, so good.
I don't think there's any curb cuts. I don't.
Oh,
I don't
well,
see
well,
any.
Well, you would've had to sign it, Mike.
Yeah, I don't. Well, that doesn't mean anything, Bill.
Well, Beth,
Usually I'm looking.
well, also
usually
Beth would've
before
brought him up, but she wasn't
Did-
feeling so hot the last few days,
Did
so.
you reach out to Stratton about the guardrails?
Oh, that was
Yes.
one. Thank you.
Yes, so-
That was on the
You're welcome.
list.
So,
I
yes.
was trying to think, what did I want to say?
Well, I did,
Guardrails.
and Pat said that he was gonna look into it, and I have not heard anything back. I did have a conversation with the guardrail company up there.
What does look into it mean? Is he gonna look into whether he thinks he's responsible? Because it's very clear.
Well, it's very clear.
Or is he
and,
looking into what it
well,
costs
since
to
we brought
do
this
it?
up, so this is gonna go, okay, so Pat told me they were gonna just repair the pieces that were cut out of the guardrails, the gaping holes we have now.
By Weaver?
that doable?
The problem is, the guardrail company, I do not believe is gonna hook onto them after the conversation I had with him, because the guardrails are in such rough shape, and now that we've raised the road up, the guardrails are no longer in compliance.
Oh,
So there's a whole thing here, and after conversations with Lissa, and it branched out into Tom, is it's in Tom's bid to do the guardrails, but only for the Weaver section. So we're not sure how that's gonna.
is it
because-
broken out? Because we are not responsible for those guardrails.
There was
Weaver
a
cut them
separate-
off.
There was a separate like $50,000.
Yeah, there's like 50,000,
In
but,
the
but,
bid.
so
Oh,
we're
it
on-
is separate.
Yeah, it is,
Okay,
but it's
good.
in Tom's thing. So I don't know how that's gonna work if Stratton doesn't want to replace all the sections that are done in Tom's contract. And the other thing is being almost 2 years ago, when Tom got that price, he's not sure where that number's gonna fall, if that 50,000 is
So
just whole.
can we pull the rails up to make them at legal height?
They're the only ones that can do it, but they're so tattered. After talking with the gentleman that does it, he says it's due for replacement. Because they've been beat on for so many years, and to try to put something straight onto something that's mangled, it's just a hard thing to do.
He's got 4 or 5 connections to make. And I know it's gonna be hard, but it's doable.
Right.
Okay.
But it's their liability after the conversation with him. And so and that's what I'm saying, because we've raised the road up. They were borderline in compliance anyway because of the height.
So
now
because it's been,
raised.
the road has been
Correct.
topped over so many times
Yes.
and the guardrails didn't get raised.
Right.
So,
I don't know, then that kind of comes back to the conversation we had before, is at what point can we go to Stratton and say, because we physically can't touch those guardrails to fix them, because then the liability's on us.
Well, they're supposed to fix it
Well,
It's
you-
in the municipal
That's right.
services agreement. It's
But
not-
that's, right.
I mean, I don't really think it was a question, although it came up once as a question.
And that was my question, because of those
It really
holes.
isn't a question. I mean, there's no question.
The question is, how can you hold Stratton's feet to the fire?
It's plain language in the municipal
And that's-
service agreement, which is part of their Act
all right,
250 permit.
I'll reach out to Pat.
Okay, I mean, I just,
There's no reason they're gonna not to, they have to do it.
I'll reach out to Pat and see if we can come to a,
Yeah.
I mean, I know he doesn't wanna hear it, but it is what it is.
No, it
It's
has
in-
to get done, I mean, winter's
and-
coming too.
And, so I'll reach out to him and see what we can do.
yeah, okay, no, I mean, but that's the conversation I had before, I wasn't sure, you know, it was a conversation after that last meeting Lisa and I had, she goes, oh, by the way, that's actually in Tom's thing. So I reached out to Tom, he's like, huh, that number, I don't know if that's gonna stick because it's been so long, and now you've got another winter on the guardrails.
Well, he was.
Well, that work that Tom does on guardrails should be billed directly to Stratton, though.
It usually gets billed to us as the whole overarching, and
Right.
then we send the bill to Stratton.
But
and they
you gotta
pay us
break it
back.
out.
Yeah, yep.
I'll try to reach
Okay.
out. I'll try
Yeah.
to reach out to Pat and see if we can get something going.
Okay, yeah, I just,
But it appears that we're in very good shape, and it should be finalizing by the end of the road is open now,
yes,
all the way through, so
Yeah.
there's no detours now.
yep,
It's just that there's 500 feet of dirt from Quarter Mile Road to
the town line.
just over the town line. So we're in a lot better shape.
Oh, absolutely, yep, because they actually had it open Friday night.
Yes, they did.
Yep, they.
Well, it was a big
And then-
weekend.
And
It
then,
was a big
one of their guys was told to pick up some of the stuff, and he was a new operator, so he went up through with the excavator, with the boom up, and broke a pole off. Luckily, it was just a guy wire pole. So I happened to go up there this morning, and they had the road shut down again. I said, what's this?
That's fine.
And they had Green Mountain Power there, and they had the road shut off, and all of a sudden I started getting flagged, you can't be up. I said, listen, it's okay, I can be here. And I went over and talked to him, and the guy had gone up through with his boom up and broke a pole off, boom, into the road. Luckily, it wasn't one of the big poles. The guy said, I'm just glad it wasn't that pole, because
Yeah.
over there, there's,
Spaghetti.
it's chaos. And then I talked to the operator, and I said, now you do realize, oh no, there's nothing there. And I said, oh yes, there is. Well,
Well, we didn't know that the 13,000 volts was
Yeah.
there.
they really had kind of, well, there's something there.
Yeah.
And I said, you gotta be real careful here. So they pulled, and Green Mountain Power, well, what do you mean? We don't have any lines there. And I said, Stratton does.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't understand. And I said, so I gave him a little history of it. And I said, what we went through.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I believe, I haven't heard any more about it, so I'm assuming they got it dug out and got the pole.
Yeah, the pole's on.
They had Hunter digging it,
Yep.
and I talked to the operator, and I said, you gotta be real careful there. What?
Yeah.
I said, yeah. So anyways, so I think we're in pretty good shape.
Yep.
Finally.
So I'll get
It's been a
the,
long session.
yep, I'll get the prices on for the next meeting for the wooden sign down there, and we'll just go from there.
Okay,
Y'all good?
good,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Short-term rental ordinance.
Do you
Yes.
have access permits?
There are no access.
I don't
permits.
see any.
That's what we
No.
were
I
told.
don't see any, Lucia.
Thank you.
Yep.
So, so at the last meeting, but Julie wasn't here, I asked Lissa to send me a copy of the VLCT comments that we paid like $1,500 for these comments, and so I looked at those compared to
What we had written.
so what the planning commission had given us, and we're not sure why, but for some reason, either because he didn't agree with them, or it's possible that Marcel's computer didn't show him in Word how it was all the little changes with all her comments are there on my copy.
Right, his computer did not show that.
Did not show that.
Like if
That's
I look on my phone, I don't see the comments, but when I printed them, I saw all the comments. So I printed it out so I
Right.
could read it.
Yeah, I have it
And, like,
printed up too.
If I bring it up, like I brought it up here because I forgot my copy, I can't see them. It's just the original ordinance.
Okay.
So I looked it over, and first I thought, oh, maybe Marcel just couldn't see him was one thought. The other is maybe it was like he didn't want the changes because he has he likes
Whatever.
Marcel always liked doing stuff his
No,
way.
but I think that I knew him well enough
I
to
mean, the
know
changes
that
were right there, though. I mean, the comments, he might not have seen the comments. They actually
Yeah,
changed.
He did see the comments.
So, whatever, some of those, so it doesn't matter, it's water under the bridge now, but some of those comments are legally required. They
right.
weren't just like, hey, you should change the to
Well,
I
the
mean,
thing that I understood, the overarching, result of all that was that a lot of the things in our ordinance are already superseded by state
Correct.
Well, some of it was,
requirements.
yeah, not so much superseded, but it was like, it's already addressed, yeah. I mean,
Right, so meaning,
you could just reference this or that. So I looked at it and just thought, you know, what I'd like the authority to merge the two together in a better fashion. Also, a lot of it, it's way too long and complicated, which is some of what the LCT said. It can be chopped down quite a bit. I also personally don't agree with some of the categories, like where he has like these two categories, under 8 beds, over
yeah.
9. It didn't make any sense. Like, here's the list. This is what you need. You need your fire and safety. You need, you know, here's your list. You need, I mean, you know, parking makes sense on them, some sort of a drafted up parking so that people are not, or just, you know,
Sorry.
that they have adequate parking for the number of bedrooms. But the thing was just it's way too complicated and convoluted and jumps around. So I thought, okay, if you guys want to vote, I would take it on to do it. But I also think we should take it off our agenda because it's creating havoc with people, not today,
Oh, boy.
but we're getting, not today, but we've had people at our last few meetings thinking that we were making some decision. There's no decision we're getting, I want to get.
I think part of it was that they were contacted
Oh, Airbnb, it's
by
not
this
part of it.
Airbnb thing.
Oh, yeah.
And they got the word, oh, they've got it on their agenda, they're gonna do something.
Right, so I'm saying we should take it off the agenda. I'd like to have till our second meeting in November to get this together.
well, then it could just go to town meeting.
Well, I wanted that, but Lissa reached out to VLCT because that's exactly what I thought. I said, let's just have a town meeting, have a town vote, we're done. VLCT wrote back tonight saying that you can't do that.
Right,
The
I read
ordinance
that too. Remember I went online?
Yeah, but
and
that was
saw
just a little
also.
blurb. This is very specific, whether they're right or wrong. I'm
Yeah.
assuming they're right.
It's their
Very
legal
specifically
guidance
says-
for us.
Yeah, it specifically says, and I got the email sitting down here earlier, it says specifically that, you know, you have to adopt the ordinance the way it is, and that, you know, of course, and then they have 44 days for 5% of your voters.
So they're saying
And
we
then
have,
if 5% of the voters appeal it, then we have either town meeting or a special meeting.
okay, so you're saying that you would be willing to do some work.
I want
on
to sort of put it back together and
So
then bring it back to the
If we
board.
do that, we don't have to implement it till after we've done that. We're still in forming stage, correct?
Yes.
That's exactly right. So-
Okay, so if we agreed and you were willing to take this
Right.
on, I know it's a
And
lot
it's
of
still
work.
not the final thing, because
But
it's
it
just
would
a
be, then it would still, we have to let the zoning board look at it, or the.
No, they don't.
Planning
No.
commission.
No, they don't.
No, no.
They're not even part of, they don't even
We're
usually
out.
draw, planning commission
We're
doesn't even
out.
draw ordinances. This was
Right.
because
Okay,
Marcel
all right, I'm
chose
sorry.
to draw,
I'm just,
he chose
No
to be in
planning.
charge of it, which was fine. Everybody said great, but that's not who does it. We
Okay.
do it.
I make a motion that we,
I second it.
that
I'm saying on or before November 20th is our second meeting in November. So
Mm-hmm.
on or before November 20th, I'll contact Lissa and say, put it on the agenda.
okay, and give us a copy.
Yeah, and then put it, yeah, on the
I
agenda.
will second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, because that
Okay,
just,
thank you, Bill. for-
pain in the
and-
neck, but it really needs
Well,
crunch,
the
it needs
other
crunching.
thing to think about, FYI, because there is
I got it.
no ordinance, the $400,000 that is in our budget as revenue is not going to be there. Now, that was,
Yeah, but we have no expense either. We don't have
right,
a
but the expenses were far below
Right.
that. So just FYI, we're gonna be pulling money out of reserve funds for something because that money is not there. What was okay,
It was-
STR contractor,
Oh, we have two things, the contractor and the administrator. What
right,
were
but
those
the
two?
contractor, we've given 25,000 to out of their $30,000 budget. The other amount is about $70,000. So $330,000 we will be short. because it's up here.
Yeah, in fact, part of my rewrite also is, I don't know why there are all these, you read it through it, so he has these tiered levels of contributions. You know, two different tiered levels of whether you're primary and you're there or not, it was a lesser amount, and whether you're a second home person who's doing the rentals, there was another amount besides whether it's 8 or 9 or more.
I do think that an ADU should be less. If it's an accessory dwelling unit that you have at your home, I think that makes sense. You have a homeowner-
That's not like you've just bought a property and you're advertising it and it's a free-for-all.
Right,
Whereas
so
if
I'm not
you're-
sure what you're saying. If it's accessory dwelling unit and you're
So if I-
renting
if
it
I was-
out as an
if-
Airbnb,
But if you're on site, it's a little bit different.
Like if it's a homeowner-
If I'm renting if I was renting
right, the way it's
my
written now is
garage
if you're
out,
on site, you have a choice. You can live in the ADU and rent your house,
Whatever.
or you can rent your house, or you can rent the ADU and live in your house. And there's a different rate for being on site and have it being a primary resident who's there during the rental. That's
Well,
how it reads now. And I was looking to
I like,
clean it up.
I mean,
what, let's, we've already,
Okay.
Yeah, we
let's
can
let
always
Bill work
just,
on
we can
it.
always
We can
change
change
it back.
it. Well,
Right.
I mean, it just, thank you
it's
for.
just a draft to try to bring it
trying
back
to-
to, I mean, it's so,
Complicated.
it's convoluted and there's no reason
Right.
for it.
Yeah.
And I'm
let's-
really not sure, I mean, I'll think about it more, but I was thinking of taking out all these levels of fees and this and that, and some of the compliance. You know, he had in there, people could self-certify if you have less than 8, because there is a provision for that at fire and safety now.
right, because there's not enough fire and
That's not true. I talked to fire and safety up in Rutland. They said, we're responsible, which is what I thought. Any rental property has to be in compliance with fire and safety. And yes, they made this little self-certification form, but that doesn't make the day. I want fire and safety to go in and tell, they need a fire and safety report. I mean, it's good for them, it's good for us, it's what you're supposed to have.
It's.
All
there's-
condos have
there's
to
a
have
sys-
it,
there's
and
a-
all rental properties.
There's a division at the state that is in charge of that, and we have to start utilizing those
That's
services.
what I'm thinking, and if it takes longer for them to meet the demand because
Right.
everybody calls at once,
But
then.
after the flood in Londonderry, when Londonderry got flooded out, there were 3 fire and safety inspectors in town.
Oh, yeah,
Right then, I mean, bam,
right.
you're
Okay.
shut down, you're shut down, you're shut down, and so if they have to, if they get an
No,
influx,
they'll
they
make
can
it
deal with it.
work, they'll make it work, or they'll do a schedule, and I've seen fire and safety come, and they'll do, 4 or 5 houses in a day, because they're here, they're doing Stratton, they're doing Winhall, so they'll
Bill,
have to schedule
thank you
and
for
work
taking
it
that
out.
project on.
Yes,
That's
and-
more
and
up
that-
your alley than it is up mine.
Or
that's for
mine.
sure.
Well, I mean, and I'm still saying, after we agree on it, I still want to shoot it to some lawyer. I'm not sure if it's our current town lawyer or not.
Or
I haven't-
VLCT.
We can talk about that.
No, VLCT already looked at it again. I could
It's
go,
Send it back there.
could go back there, but I was thinking
Well,
to
but
a
if
different
you've
attorney.
implemented a lot of their recommended changes, that should help tremendously.
Yeah, a lot of their changes.
So I think though too, we need to be ready at the November 20th meeting to talk about the administrator position, because I think,
The ordinance, yeah.
We gotta have the
We have
ordinance
to
in
the
place.
ordinance in place
But,
and then the
um,
RFP.
I'm talking more about the RFP, like getting those ideas together of what kind of
Now, let's see how Bill
applicant.
does that. He's an overachiever. He'll have it done before then.
Okay.
Yeah, I might. I just like days fly by.
Yeah.
But the RFP is pretty straightforward. It's just someone's got to look at the
The
ordinance.
only problem
and see
is
if
they don't know what they're
want it.
gonna be trying to implement. So.
Oh, we have to talk about criteria in the RFP, like familiarity with land records, familiarity with
Exactly.
septic laws and rules and regs, right, stuff like that.
That,
All right.
The other thing is, by the way, is that, and I guess I might do something on this as well, is that there is no application form. I mean, it's pretty much a checklist. Once it gets squished and cleaned up, it's pretty much be a check. There's no application form and there's no license. But, I mean, the license is
So-
probably even easier. But there's no
Yeah,
application
promise on
form
it.
that's attached to
I
the
have
ordinance.
a dozen application forms you can look at from other towns.
Right, but it's got, okay,
But we gotta
that won't
implement it
hurt,
in
but it's
this.
gotta match our ordinance,
Oh, yeah.
or what we require, which is
They're
really
all-
just a check. If I clean it up the way I'm thinking, it's just a checkbox. Your application is, you know, your fire and safety, your proof of occupancy, a number of bedrooms, you know, from your septic.
Okay.
I mean, stuff that's in there already, but it just needs to be crunched up
But I
and
can
cleaned up.
show you the ones I've gotten from Woodstock, from Killington.
Right.
Marcel did one, a mock-up.
Oh, he did a mock-up? I
Yeah,
hadn't seen it.
I thought I gave it to you.
No, I haven't seen the mock-up of his application. I did get from you, something was forwarded from GovOS just recently. You forwarded it to me, or Tammy forwarded it.
So,
somebody.
Julie, are you saying we have paid, or, not Julie, sorry, Lisa, have we paid WS money yet?
Yes,
We have,
yes.
so, alright.
I think.
I mean,
we
according
spread
to
out
the budget, we paid over 25,000.
We paid the total amount that was.
And they haven't been obviously done anything.
Well, they done a little
Well,
something,
the
because I got
problem
that
is
email.
they don't have anybody to send it to yet, so
Yeah, there's
they
nothing-
may have done stuff.
They may, you know, they're probably looking to see,
I also think this position should be under Lissa. I don't wanna be managing another person when Lissa could manage them. Make sure there's an
There you
office set
go.
up.
Just what you want.
I'm not even sure what that means. What does that mean?
Like,
They have somebody to help out, report to, talk to,
Right.
I don't know,
Okay,
works.
I'm not sure what it is. Okay.
Whatever.
I mean,
The-
I just don't wanna
the-
have another report every month about short-term rentals when Lissa can just share it with us.
Well, hopefully it just goes, hopefully it just,
Hopefully, once we
the
get
applications
get
go
it
in, the people
going.
get their license, they pay their fees.
Well, the person has to report to somebody if you guys hire somebody.
Right, it's,
Right.
I think it's part of the, personnel policy, isn't it, or somewhere,
I mean-
I've read it.
They'll need to report to
I
somebody.
mean,
Yeah, we can. that's-
Right, and
that's the
Marcel had
deal.
proposed an hourly situation. I don't know if that makes
Uh,
sense, or if it should be a salaried position.
I think it should be salaried because it's gonna,
Well, that's what I was concerned about too, actually, was how does that work? Because at the beginning, it's gonna be like an outrageous amount of time. But then once things are in place, except,
It should be more
it
managed,
it should
be
be
more of
very,
a,
in theory, you know, except for new ones coming on,
well, and every year it's gonna have to be done.
well, they have to apply, they just have to renew every year. So renewal is not gonna be,
renewal should not be nearly.
have you made any changes to your unit? No, send the check. I mean, that's the renewal. If you made changes and added
All right.
bedrooms or something, then it's a different story.
So, townwide reappraisal.
that was off the agenda.
No, it's right there.
No, well, that's just on there because we're in the process, right?
So it's in
It's
process.
starting,
but
so what I
they're
heard was
starting
that,
it.
from the listers, was that they're starting at tax map 1, which is way down.
And that, right.
Yeah, and there's very little on tax map 1,
Right.
but they're starting there. And it's a massive job for Doug, apparently. I mean,
Oh, he's here hours,
He is here all
hours,
the time.
Hours.
but Nemrick is relying on him for stuff, and it's supposed to be up on the website and
I
all
was
this
gonna
other,
look and see if it had been updated on the Nemrick website.
on their website. They had problems yesterday, all of Nemrick was down statewide.
It was, yeah, there's nothing up for us yet on they asked me to put the link on our website to their site so that people could go look at their properties while they were.
Well, they
getting
haven't done- they haven't
reassessed.
done it
They
yet.
haven't
No,
done
no,
anything
no,
yet.
no, they're just barely starting on that map 1.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't even
But-
know
but
they
it's-
started.
No, I don't believe they have started it.
Okay.
On tax map 1, I didn't think they had, I know, there was more stuff that Doug had to do, I
That's
thought.
what I think is happening too. Doug is on it, and yeah, it's a pain in the neck, I don't know. God, thank goodness for
Well, I
Doug.
have to provide them with folders, so they can do the road, Winhall Hollow, and then they do everybody's on Winhall
Right.
Hollow.
Okay.
So he is providing.
He's
Well-
folders.
Yeah, so
and-
each tax map is as they come up the hill.
Yeah, but I don't think they've started with.
No, I do-
tax map 1.
They're starting with one, but I don't believe
Right.
they started with
Correct,
one.
they have
All
not
right, so it's in
yet.
We have
progress.
started paying them though.
We started paying them because that was part of
Part of
the,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we gave them the increase that they asked for because they didn't ask timely, but
Right.
it made sense.
And it
Okay.
was in the contract.
It was in the contract that they ask in a timely manner, that by
So,
January 1st or something.
Affordable housing wastewater system, so,
There's a hearing, there's a meeting.
so,
There it is.
Lucia, we're meeting on the 11th at 4:30,
4 p.m.
4 o'clock.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I think
We're
it's
meeting
4.
with the
I'll
state.
double check with
Who is
Tammy.
on what?
The state person is coming down to help us decide on the, Village Center.
designation.
Oh, at
we
the,
have to get that squared away before we can go any further.
so you're at your 11th meeting, which is at 5:30.
4:30.
4
It's
o'clock was the state, 5:30.
5:30 is
for
the
us.
meeting, okay.
Okay.
The
And
meetings are now all 5:30 because I
we
changed it on my
met
calendar.
with Matt and on the next, let me see what day it is, September.
I was here when he,
20th.
yeah, when he came.
But the town plan will be finished,
Right,
rough draft ready to go by the end of September.
Well, if we have this, I mean, this should be in it.
Well, the map, yeah, the difference is, we have to apply to the state, for the,
Town center,
village.
village center.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we have to get that done, and then we have all the wording that Marcel did, and it was approved,
Okay,
but that will take a little more time, and Matt will do it all for us.
okay, good, all right. So, I've got it in my calendar,
Have a good.
headed,
Bye.
thanks coming,
Thanks.
Eric, appreciate it.
Thanks, Eric.
It
Yep,
was informative. Very helpful, thanks.
all right. Website,
So I have one quick update. A couple days ago, I got an email saying the site is currently in quality control. Takes about 3 weeks to finish that. Then they suggest that we start scheduling trainings on it. You can either do a 3-hour session or 2 90-minute sessions. And I don't exactly know who needs to take this training.
I think
I don't
unfortunately, I
either.
think it's
I
you.
think it's just me. I'm just.
Yeah, I'm just saying, no
I
one
think
else is
it-
gonna touch be
We
inputting
had
stuff, are
talked
they?
about having department heads being able to upload their own stuff, so I don't have to do it.
Oh, that's not a bad
So
idea.
then those people need to do the
And
training.
they would need the training, so,
So
I
Beth,
mean, Trevor's not gonna do that, is he?
I don't know that
So
he
you
has
gotten
anything that
better?
would be uploadable. Like, the only
Right.
thing we work on together are like RFPs, so I don't think he'd have anything that would need to go up on the website.
What about, and the police
Planning.
police has their own, so probably Tammy and I should take that training.
Police don't have their own website.
Oh, they do, I thought
No.
they had
They
their own
have
website.
Facebook.
They have a Facebook page.
so
Okay.
the
Okay.
police, like maybe what's the name of the new woman?
Ashley?
Ashley.
Ashley, yes, sorry. Ashley should probably
Planning.
take it.
Tammy and I should take it too,
And Beth.
and Beth, yeah.
But I'm not, why would Tammy and you need to take, are you putting stuff up on the
Planning
website
commission.
yourself?
Yeah. has to
upload
post
all
minutes.
kinds
Minutes.
of
And
Yeah,
stuff.
minutes.
meeting agendas.
And
What about Deb?
so we need to find out how it all operates.
Oh, yeah.
and
She
do
has a
one.
page. She
Well,
has a
maybe you
page
can
on the
all
website.
sort of schedule a day and sit in front of the big giant TV and take it all together or something.
I'll let this organize when, we'll just do
so I don't
that.
know what they can use it.
You better find out if you can use the room.
Okay,
We used it with Matt via Zoom,
Yeah,
and he was on that big screen, we did
it
everything
work out
right
good?
there.
did it work out good?
Perfect.
yeah.
Okay, good.
We had everything we needed up
Yeah,
there.
we haven't used it as much as I thought
Well,
we would,
we
but,
have Peter, who knows everything about it.
Pizza? I love pizza. Oh, Peter.
Yeah, Peter's
okay, ARPA funding,
We don't really have an update on that yet. Scott was gonna talk to them about, using the, getting a quote to use the money for this.
Right,
Okay.
that's what we were looking for.
all right.
To replace
Now, you
windows.
put out the RFP for the engineering?
It's halfway out. It's posted, but it's not, the ad has not been run yet.
Okay,
And so
Yeah.
I saw this, so this we're putting out, when is it gonna be due?
So it's the RFP for the, just because we
For the
can't,
engineer.
we can't bid out any plans without architectural designs of some
Right.
What did we say for the deadline?
Because someone said, why are we doing that? I'm like, cause you can't, that's the first
Who said
step.
that? Who
You
said that?
have to. I heard somebody said that. I'm like, you have to, that's the first step. You can't.
September
the building.
16th.
I mean, unless we got somebody else.
September 16th? That's gonna be tough when we're already at the 4th. But you said it hasn't gone out yet?
It hasn't gone in the paper. It's posted already, but it hasn't gone in the paper.
Did you send it to
It would
anybody?
be the,
Did you send it out to any
I didn't send it to the engineers
Thanks, sorry.
directly yet because
architects? Is it engineers or architects or both?
I think both. I mean, we got a mixed bag of responses when we did like the town
We-
garage after the
We
fire.
had, Bread Loaf came down and met with us. They
Right.
were very interested. Wright Engineering over in,
But we came down recently, you mean? I thought you were talking about with the garage, the town garage, because that was
Right,
the
no,
biggest,
that was the biggest.
that was the
one
last
we've done.
biggest project that we did like this.
But none of those people have reached out to me yet, so I don't have any contact information to send
I
them
will try to
the
get some
RFP, so-
contact information
Okay.
right away. Okay, all right. Town plan update, you've already said that that's pretty well set, other than we gotta wait till we get this town village center thing going.
Yeah, no, Matt has done, I sent you some of the
Yes.
rewrites on affordable housing and flood resilience, and he did a ton of research to get all that statistical information for us.
Okay,
So both of those sections are greatly expanded from what they were.
okay, good. So Vermont 250th resolution, what do we have to do for that?
It's already done.
I don't know, it was already done, but Bill asked that it be put on the agenda.
Oh, yeah, so we did the resolution, but we have to decide what we're doing, and, I mean, from talking with a few other people, the actual date is 2026. The actual,
It's not soon.
the actual.
So it was
Well, the actual-
1791? Is that correct?
1776, it's not Vermont, it says Vermont's 250th
Well, I think Vermont
resolution.
was 1791, wasn't it?
Isn't this 90, yeah.
You should remember that.
Yes, I think it is 91, but that's not the point. The point is it took a while to like figure out what the hell they meant. That's not what they're talking about. They're talking about 1776 and 250 years.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it's 2026. And you have, because various towns are doing different things, you have a 2023, 24, or 24, 25, 26 time frame to decide what you're doing. Not everyone's gonna do everything in 2026, but I thought we should if that's what we're gonna do it.
Okay, we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah,
We could leave that on.
Yeah,
Yeah, you leave that
right.
on. But you are gonna take the short-term rental
Yep.
ordinance off.
Got it.
Okay, thank you. All right, new business. You got anything new? You got anything new?
No.
You got anything new?
The only thing I have is that I'm working with Stratton Corp on the the new contract for law enforcement services, because we have to renew it every
Okay.
2 to 3 years, and
Yep.
it expired.
That's
It's-
coming due.
So it's in their legal review right now.
Okay, thank you. All right, it appears we have no access permit applications. Any correspondence?
You know, we have the minutes from the last meeting that we did not approve.
Yes.
And it's not even on, oh yeah,
There's a-
approved minutes, yeah.
Copy of those.
August
right
7th,
there.
right here.
Yeah,
When you sign those, please, I can do it with you. I need to get a quick copy for Audrey Shada.
well, Beth that has to go to Beth, because that's where they go. And then
But
Beth
she has
knows,
to save
and
them.
Beth knows that Audrey's waiting for it.
Well, Beth knows, I told Beth that I would bring a signed copy in a separate envelope for Audrey to pick
Yeah.
up tomorrow.
Yeah, I know she wants it.
And Beth and I talked about that, so I just need to make a copy of your signatures for the August 7th one.
Okay, well, that's here.
Okay.
So, have you guys had a chance to review the August 7th minutes? Do you guys have any problems with it?
No.
Motion to approve as presented.
All in,
Second,
all in favor, say aye.
aye.
All right.
And then we have one for August 28th to the
21st.
I don't have a copy of because my printer died.
Okay.
Or
So
die.
that, we'll table that
Next
one.
time, I will try
Alright.
to get a copy.
Okay, I'll table August 21. Got it. Okay, and we have this.
Yeah, not
one.
allowed to be blocked off, that's what she wants it. That's
Oh.
what she's been waiting for. Because he blocked it off right after they all were here.
We'll talk in a minute. Okay, correspondence none. Review bills, sign warrants. I guess,